To my surprise, she went to the bathroom and came out with makeup that she used to create a black eye and other bruises. Then she called the police on me and I got arrested and put behind bars. I kept telling them that I never even touched her and that my wife was making things up. The cops laughed and told me to tell it to the judge. It's a love story that is shocking, and I am glad that I am alive to tell you the story. Here goes. My name is Adam, and I have dedicated myself to my work as a software engineer. It's very detailed stuff where I have to work long hours to solve lots of tricky things. This didn't leave me much time for meeting people through friends or at dances. So I took to online dating. There was one woman online that interested me. Her name was Carmel, and she was young and beautiful. She also said she had never dated anyone seriously before, and she liked to do housework and liked children. Over the years, I met her a few times in her country, and pretty soon, I was hooked. I did all the paperwork and paid all the fees, and one day, she came over as my bride. I was so happy. I made good money, so all I expected from her was to clean the house and make me a good dinner. I didn't expect too much, and I was also easygoing. I felt Carmel would be happy with me. But the first thing that came out of her mouth was a big surprise. Carmel, it's great to see you. How was your journey?
Thank you, Adam. It was a long trip, but I'm excited to be here. There's something I need to tell you, though.
Sure, what is it?
I have 2 children, a boy, Frank, and a girl, Beth. They're back in my hometown, and I want to bring them here with me.
Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Why didn't you mention it earlier?
I understand it's unexpected, Adam. My children are my world, and I want them to have a chance at a better life. I hope you can understand.
Carmel, if we're going to build a life together, I want all of us to be a part of it. Since I'm easygoing, I did all the paperwork, and we eventually brought her kids over. They weren't kids. They were 15 and 16 years old. Carmel wanted all the best for them, so I agreed to pay for their private school education. For the first few weeks, Carmel agreed to cook for me. But she said that she had a medical condition that prevented her from standing too long. Most days, I came home to frozen dinners, pizzas, and lots of takeout foods. Then, she started asking me to give her money for her parents, who needed an urgent operation in her home country. It was costly, but I agreed to give her the money. When the kids finally came over, Frank and Beth immediately asked for computers to play video games. Since I wanted to be a great dad to my stepchildren, I happily forked over the money. Meanwhile, my work was busy, and it often involved me traveling out of the country. Carmel said she had everything under control. She said she would be volunteering with some community groups to learn English and help out. One day, my conference ended early, so I took an early flight home. As soon as I got home, no one was there, and the kids were still in school. I decided to spend some time looking at our wedding pictures online. I happened to find a file that was strangely encrypted. It was protected by a password, but I managed to unlock it using our anniversary date. I opened it up and found hundreds of emails between Carmel and 5 other men. Lots of the emails were love letters and requests for money. I was so shocked that I almost fainted. As soon as she walked through the door, I wanted some answers. Carmel, we need to talk. I found letters and messages from 5 different men on our computer. What's going on?
Adam, it's not what you think. I had to do what I could to make ends meet.
5 different men, Carmel? Explain.
You never gave me enough money for my hair, for the things I needed. I had to ask for help from others.
Why didn't you talk to me about this if you needed more support?
You were always too busy with work, and I had to figure things out on my own.
This is not about money. It's about trust, Carmel. You went behind my back with other men instead of talking to me. Carmel glared at me as if I was a wolf. Then she demanded that I give her lots of money so that she could disappear with the kids. She threatened to call the police and tell them that I was a wife beater if I didn't give her the money. I told her that I never touched her at all. To my surprise, she went to the bathroom and came out with makeup that she used to create a black eye and other bruises. Then she called the police on me and I got arrested and put behind bars. I kept telling them that I never even touched her and that my wife was making things up. The cops laughed and told me to tell it to the judge. I spent the weekend in jail because I couldn't get bail until Monday morning. When I got a lawyer, the lawyer told me that if she was lying, I needed it all on tape. She told me to see her and get her to say damaging things about herself. I felt defeated, and with nowhere to turn, I told my mom and dad what happened. They told me to give her the money to allow the problem to go away, but I wouldn't think of letting her get away with this kind of fraud. When she finally came home after a mini vacation, I wanted to get her to confess. Carmel, we need to talk. I found something that doesn't add up. You've mentioned that I hurt you, but I have proof that contradicts that.
I don't know what you're talking about, Adam.
I found surveillance footage from our home security system. It shows the night you claimed I beat you. You were alone in the living room, and there was no sign of any violence.
I felt trapped, Adam. I thought if people believed I was a victim, I could escape from this relationship. I just felt like you couldn't provide the lifestyle I wanted, Adam. I thought this was the only way to get what I needed.
So, it's about money? Carmel, we should have talked about this. Money isn't everything, and we could have found a solution together. I never beat you, right?
Of course you didn't. You don't have enough strength to hurt a fly. I didn't think you'd understand. I wanted a life with more things, Adam, like a swimming pool and designer clothing.
Carmel refused to drop the charges. She said if I didn't pay her tons of money, then she'd get her boyfriend in Florida to give me a beating. I told her I would think about it, but she didn't know it. But I had a cop listening in to the whole conversation. I even had it on tape on my iPhone. When the police heard her confession, they immediately went to arrest her at my house. As soon as they tried to put the cuffs on her, she ran out of the house and drove off in her car. She was driving so fast that she almost hit a pedestrian and clipped a few cars. Her car landed upside down on the road, and when rescuers got her out, she was screaming at them and demanding to sue the cops for chasing her. During the arrest, she kicked officers who had to use the taser on her. The cops charged her with a bunch of things, including marriage by fraud. As she sat in jail awaiting her sentencing, even her 2 kids didn't come to visit her. Instead, they both came out to defend me. Carmel called me to get me to help her out of her problem, but I refused, saying she brought it on herself.
Adam, honey, I need you to drop the charges. I didn't mean to hurt you.
No way. You caused me tons of problems. You accused me of beating you up. I could have lost my job.
Please, just drop the charges and I will go leave you alone and live with my fiancé in Florida.
Do you think I am weak and a fool? Keep dreaming, baby! Then the judge threw the book at her. Judge Smith charged her with multiple counts of online fraud and marriage by deception. He also ordered her deported after she finished serving her 12-year sentence. Her children didn't want to be associated with her anymore and never visited her in jail. Because Frank and Beth supported me during the trial, I legally adopted them. My kids truly understand what I went through with their mother. By the way, Samantha, who is the lawyer who represented me, fell for me hard. I love her too, and things are looking up for me. Samantha is also divorced and has 2 kids of her own. I look forward to having a blended family together. My story proves that karma hits hard on people who are lying, cruel, and ungrateful. Learn from my ex-wife.